Welcome to Phillies Fan Central, where passion meets the diamond and every fan's voice counts.
Do you have any idea of the level of desperation, or maybe pure genius, it takes to text a guy on his actual wedding day asking him to sign with your team? Because according to John Heyman, that is exactly what the Phillies players did to Bo Bashette. The guy was there, probably cutting the cake, fixing his tie, living the most important moment of his personal life, and his phone is buzzing with guys from our clubhouse begging, "Come to Philly, brother." That isn't just recruiting, that is obsession. And you know what? I absolutely love it because it shows the locker room knows what the front office sometimes pretends not to see. We need more firepower. And this isn't just smoke from players sending texts. Things just got real. Matt Gelb, who rarely misses, dropped the bomb that the Phillies have a face-to-face meeting scheduled with Bashette. This isn't a "we are monitoring the situation" thing. It is a formal meeting. And that changes everything. We spent years listening to that soft talk about the luxury tax, about how the team didn't want to blow past the threshold unless it was strictly necessary. But look at the landscape now. Kyle Schwarber locked in $150 million. We brought in Brad Keller, Adolis Garcia. The spending machine is turned on, but we are still missing that one piece that makes the infield gears truly turn. We know the situation with Alec Bowman JT. Real Muto is a ticking time bomb. Real Muto won't last forever, and Bohm, well, we will talk about Bohm in a second. The point is, Bashette is not a cheap gamble. We are talking about a 27-year-old guy who batted .311 in the 2025 season. If you think that is minor, look at what he did when the pressure spiked. A .348 average in the World Series with an absurd OPS of 923. That is the kind of ice-cold veins we need in October, not guys who shake when the stadium is packed. If you are digging this unfiltered analysis and want to see the Phillies lift the trophy, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now because we don't sugarcoat anything here. The Phillies front office historically likes to act like they are doing the fans a favor when they open the wallet, but the reality is that Bryce Harper's title window isn't going to stay open for another 10 years. This meeting with Bashette is the clearest sign that Dave Dombrowski looked at the roster and thought, it's not enough. And he is right. The offense needs a right-handed bat that hits for both contact and power. Bashette brings that. And there is the Don Mattingly factor. We can't forget that Mattingly is on our bench now, and his connection with Bashette is real. What drives me crazy is thinking that if it weren't for this pressure from the players, and now this confirmation from Gelb, we would be sitting here discussing some second-tier reinforcement just to fill a spot. But no, we are talking elite. We are talking about an aggressive move. Now, let's say what nobody wants to admit out loud, but what is screaming in our faces? If Bo Bashette arrives, Alec Bohm's time in Philadelphia is over. There is no math that makes both of them coexist without some crazy gymnastics on the field. The plan, by all indications, is to move Bryson Stott to third base. Stott played there early in his career. He has the arm, he has the reflexes, he can handle it. That would open up second base or shortstop, depending on how Trey Turner adjusts, for Bashette. And where does Bohm fit in this story? Probably in a trade package. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, as much as it hurts to see a homegrown guy leave, Bashette is an upgrade. He is simply a better baseball player. Bohm has his moments, but Bachette's consistency, especially coming off a season where he proved he can carry an offense on his back in decisive games, is on another level. Imagine a lineup with Schwarber, Turner, Harper, and Bashette back to back. That is a nightmare for any National League pitcher. Steve Phillips and other analysts are saying the contract might be short, maybe not those 10 years everyone asks for, but who cares? If he comes for 3 or 4 years, and gets us a championship ring, it is worth every penny of the $300 million or whatever he asks for. What we can't do is stay in this almost mode. Almost has killed us the last few years. And there is another detail. Defense. Stott at third base might be a significant defensive improvement over Bohm, who, let's be honest, sometimes looks like he is playing with boxing gloves at third base. Bashette brings athleticism. The Phillies players texting him at his wedding isn't just a funny anecdote. It is a symptom. It's Harper. It's Wheeler. It's his crew telling the front office, get him whatever it costs. They know the difference between crashing out in the division series and winning the World Series is often a single, reliable bat. And Bashette, at 27 years old, entering his physical prime, is exactly that guy. Adolis Garcia for $10 million was a low-risk deal. Brad Keller for $22 million fills out the group. But Bo Bashette, that is a declaration of war. That is the Phillies telling the Dodgers, the Braves, and the Mets that we aren't here to play for a wild card spot. If this meeting happens and Dombrowski lets him walk out of the room without a contract, it's going to be one of the biggest disappointments of this offseason. The table is set, the money is there, and the players already did their part recruiting via WhatsApp. Now, it's time for the pen to work.